We often think of language as this massive, complicated thing, right? With hundreds of thousands of words. But what if I told you that sometimes the most powerful tools we have for communicating are actually the simplest ones? So let me ask you a question. How many words do you think you really need to get your point across? I mean, to be perfectly clear, a few thousand? 10,000? Well, the answer might actually surprise you, and it gets right to the heart of what makes language so powerful. Believe it or not, the answer, according to one really fascinating system, is 850. That's it. This number is the core of something called Basic English, which was designed way back in the 1930s. The whole idea was that a small, carefully chosen set of hardworking words could do pretty much all the heavy lifting for clear, universal communication. Okay, so that begs the question. How on earth do you pick just 850 words? What makes a word basic enough to make the cut? Well, to figure that out, we're going to put one of the most common words from that list right under the microscope. Yeah, by taking a deep dive into all the different jobs just a single word can do, we'll see exactly why it earned its spot on such a short, powerful list. And the word we're going to look at today is cup. I know, it sounds almost too simple, doesn't it? But cup is the perfect example of a single, basic word doing a massive amount of work. It is a true linguistic powerhouse. All right, so let's start where we're almost comfortable. Before it's anything else, a cup is a thing. It's an object. So we're going to look at its role as a noun. But as you're about to see, it's not just one kind of thing. As a noun, the word cup actually wears three totally distinct hats. It's got three different countable meanings. Let's break them down one by one. First up, the most obvious one. It's a container. You know, that deep, round thing you drink from? If someone says, "I'll bring you another cup of tea," you immediately picture the physical object. Easy. That's its most literal meaning. But then the word kinda evolves. It goes from just being a physical object to being a standard unit of measurement. When a recipe tells you to add 2 cups of sugar, it's not talking about just any old teacup. It's talking about a very specific volume. So the word's function has already expanded. And this is where it gets really cool. The word takes a leap into the symbolic. Here, a cup represents victory, achievement. It's still a physical thing, a trophy, but the meaning is totally conceptual. The World Cup isn't about drinking, right? It's about being the absolute best. So let's just pause for a second and appreciate that. We have one simple noun that's doing the job of drinking vessel, unit of volume, and trophy. Instead of needing 3 separate, more complicated words, we have this one little word that handles it all. That right there is linguistic efficiency in action. It's the whole point of basic English. But wait, there's more. The word cup is so versatile, it doesn't just stop at being a thing. It can actually jump from being an object to being an action. It transforms from a noun into a verb. And what's so brilliant about this is that the verb's meaning is directly inspired by the noun's shape. To cup your hands is to literally make them into the shape of a cup. It's the super intuitive visual link that makes the language both simple and really descriptive. And here we go, a perfect example. Jean cupped her hands. You don't need some long, complicated explanation. The verb itself just paints the picture. You immediately see what she's doing, and it's all because we understand what a cup is. The word is building on its own meaning. How efficient is that? So this brings us all the way back to the main idea here. The genius of a system like Basic English is all about choosing words just like cup. It's not about making a language dumber or anything like that. It's about building a language that's brilliant, incredibly efficient, and really, really powerful. So let's just recap what makes a word like cup such a powerhouse. It works as a noun in a few different ways. It can totally switch gears and become a verb. It's even the root of other words we use all the time, like cupboard or cupful. And because of all this, it's pretty much universally understood. It's just a fantastic communication tool. And that's really the big takeaway. You don't always need more words. You just need the right words. A small, versatile, and powerful vocabulary is the true backbone of clear, effective communication. It doesn't matter if you're learning a new language or just trying to get your point across in a meeting. Which kind of leaves us with one final thought to chew on. In our world today, with this constant flood of information coming at us, where else could we apply this lesson? What other parts of our lives could benefit from a basic approach? Focusing on what's simple, what's essential, and what's truly powerful. Something to think about. Thanks for tuning in.